Oh, are you filming? Oh, I didn't know.
I know, I was trying to help him. You're being mean to me today, yes.
Why me?
Yes, today you are not being, you're
I
being mean.
apologize. Can somebody show those feet? Show them.
Will you quit picking?
Look at them.
This time on Graveyard Carz, Mark leaves Will in charge of the shop while he works on his super secret SEMA 2019 build project.
So I'm gonna kind of just oversee everything, make sure it all looks good.
And grab your aspiring Moparian technician, because Cousin Dougie and Alyssa walk us through a very detailed build of a 446 barrel engine.
How come we're gonna start with that first?
Because I want to.
The unburied dead, the unburied dead are coming back to life, are coming back to life.
Self-proclaimed Mopar master Mark Warman and his protege painter Will Scott get paid to bring Mopar muscle cars back from the dead. They work with Mark's daughter Alyssa and his cousin Dougie. They're willing to travel anywhere to retrieve a customer's car, detailing how it lived its life and how it died. After that, they bring it back to make it look just like it did the day it was born. While Mark works on his secret SEMA project, Will gathers Dougie and Justin to begin the assembly of the 1970 B7 Blue Challenger.
All right, so we're gonna start putting this car together because Mark's super busy and I just don't trust you guys to not screw it up. No offense, but you're new and you're Doug. So with those, see?
That was rude.
Well, no, but it's not harsh reality.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I love you to death,
Yeah.
but, so I'm gonna kind of just oversee everything, make sure it all looks good, and there's no issues.
Okay.
Is that good?
Uh-huh.
Yep. Well, would you guys like to start?
Gonna put the taillights in first.
Let's get her done. You got everything ready to go?
I do.
Doug?
Where would you like me to start?
I pick a tail light.
You're the boss.
This is Mark's area, so technically I'm not. Do you have all your, all
Yeah,
your nuts?
I got on the nuts. Can you get my ratchet?
What's so funny, Doug? That's not a ratchet.
Oh, ratchet.
See, this is why I have to come over.
Oh,
It's all right, it's all right.
this is not a ratchet?
It's not.
You wanna tighten that?
I'd love to.
Oh.
Tighten your nuts.
Go gentle. There you go.
Not my first rodeo.
You said you're a painter.
Building cars since you've been in diapers.
Yeah.
Doug?
Yeah, what?
You got a tail light ready?
I have a tail light ready.
Let's get it ready.
Okay.
Did you grab the nuts? Oh, look at you go. All right, just slide that in there.
Watch the paint.
See, did you realize what you just did?
Oh, I scratched it,
No,
right?
you just put it in without even paying attention. This is why.
What do you mean?
Just gentle,
Line up the
finesse.
holes.
Gentle?
You just don't slam it in there.
Oh, sorry. Sometimes I get carried away.
Does that look right to you?
Looks left to me.
See, Doug, you're just ready to slam that.
Okay, Will, how we doing?
You're doing just fine, Doug.
We're doing okay?
Yes, thank you for asking.
Thank you. So it's lined up
That one
pretty-
lined up nice, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys are good. You guys are good to go ahead and tighten that down.
Thank you, Will.
You're welcome, Doug.
Thank you, friend.
There you go, Doug. Looks good.
Sure does.
That makes that whole back end.
Yeah.
Finish.
Well, I
Made
couldn't
him.
reach the one. I couldn't reach the one under
I stepped out of your way.
the corner.
Back.
Oh, did I miss one?
So
You're the boss.
I'm not the boss. So, back there, this is Mark's area. We good for the bumper?
Yeah. Actually, let's get the chrome trim around the back.
How am I doing, boss?
No.
What? What did I say, Will?
You know, I don't. How does it go from captain to boss to Will? That's all.
I don't know.
Got that one on?
Yeah.
Done?
Let me tighten it a little bit. That would be the other Titan. What? Thank you. I got it, Will.
You ready for the side marker?
Uh-huh. Carefully.
It's nice and easy.
Right,
We don't
Will?
want to. Yeah, because I don't want to have to repaint
Carefully.
more blue. There's enough to do already.
No more touch-up paint?
Doug.
Okay. You know me.
I do know.
I won't scratch it. No bit.
Nothing crazy.
Nope, nothing crazy. There, how's that?
Okay, so now that that's all wrapped up, we'll address the balance later. Let's grab the mirrors, get the mirrors on, and the badges on, and the marker lights. Are you guys capable of that, or do I have to babysit you?
We can do it.
Huh?
We can do it.
I don't know. Mark told me to be here to make sure you guys don't screw stuff up.
Well, I sure enjoy your company.
Do you?
I do.
What part?
I love having you as a supervisor.
It's not.
You're so informative.
It's just. There's no talking to you today.
Informative? Hey, friend.
Get your little gasket there. Now, I know you're gonna want to get your screwdriver. It's gonna want to jump off there and scratch the paint. Let's not do that today. Where's your mirror, Doug?
Right here, Will.
Okay, you know what you're doing?
Hey, can you hold this for a
I'm
second?
gonna fake it though.
How many times you
How
said
about
that? So these marker lights, they go right there.
Oh, that's great.
Same thing on the other side, Doug.
Thank you, Will. Could you point that out for me?
Yes, I can point that out for you.
So the marker light goes
Right there.
right in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'm not coming over, Doug.
What?
Let's get it done.
Take it from here,
Okay.
friend.
Get that wrapped up.
Thank you, Will.
In the body shop, Curious George begins the final bit of metalwork on a 1970 Charger RT 440 Magnum automatic with console, currently under the stewardship of Mark.
We ended up putting a brand new floor pan on the inside, put brand new seat pan, new step pans. We ended up putting a brand new trunk extensions. We ended up saving the left-hand quarter, got away with just doing a couple patches. But unfortunately, on the right-hand side, we had to change the whole entire thing. So my next process that I had to do, I had to fit the door and make sure I had a good gap, as you see. Nice, perfect gap. Door opens, closes, good. That's exactly what I wanted. So the thing after that I have to check for is I put the lower balance in, and then I put the balance extensions in. And the next thing that I have to do is put the tail lights in. I'm gonna get a little hand for that. Adam, give me a hand. For that.
Just want to get the car done, Doug.
Me too.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I'd like nothing more than to have this car completed today.
Well, we should be able to get like that,
Yeah, we got it.
All right.
All right, time for some bezels.
Yes, sir.
adjust our side to side. There's a gap on this side. Yeah, we got a bigger gap on this side. The whole bumper needs to shift over that way a little bit.
All right, you guys ready to get the balance on so we can be done?
Let's do it. Trying to run me over with it.
Only you would stand right there. See what Mark's talking about. Go ahead.
I guess it's perfect.
All right, now that that's done, let's get the emblems on it. I'm not sure exactly how these go on. I know how they go on, but
I'm gonna go get Mark.
yeah, I know. Hurry up, because I want to get this car wrapped up.
My job never ends. Working on a title right now. Never ends, never ceases to amaze me. And
Hey
why
Mark,
wouldn't he?
we are ready to put the emblems on the Challenger. Can you give me a hand with that, please?
Yeah. Can do that. Why don't one of the Cool Breezes help you?
Oh, they don't know how to do it.
There's cars out back.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be happy to. Yes,
Great.
that's what I'm here for.
Awesome, thank you.
Now, if I were to take the time to show you exactly how I do it, do you think you'd remember next time?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, give me just a minute. I'll be right there.
Great, thank you.
Yep. Okay. There we are. See, I get paid to do stuff like this. That's why they come to the Iceman. The Iceman be having all them pictures. The Iceman. That's why I do it. So that's the top of the style line right there. Lines up at the bottom, 1.5 inches to there. We're gonna wanna be sure is when we set this on there that this tail on the G is gonna wanna get on top of this tape right here, and that's okay. As long as, for mocking it up purposes. So this goes right there.
And we go from, we go from the bottom
Yeah,
of
the
this
bottom
and
of the
not C,
lettering,
right?
Correct.
Okay.
So now I can pull that out and this out. Make sure that I'm level. Okay, with that there, we press it down. We have our Challenger emblem on. Okay, there it is. We got the right fender done. Let's go do the driver's fender.
Sure looks good.
How's that look?
Looks great.
Still to come, Cousin Dougie and Alyssa walk us through a very detailed 440 6-barrel build.
First thing we're gonna do is put the fuel pump on.
How come we're gonna start with that first?
Because I want to.
Okay.
And Will and George begin door and fender alignment on a Rally Red 1970 Cuda.
Let's get the bolts and let's get to screwing.
The 1972 Plymouth Duster didn't receive many upgrades from its earlier iterations. However, it did receive new surface mount side marker lights and larger taillights. In 1972, engineering and quality were claimed to go hand in hand at Chrysler. For example, they upgraded the alternator to make it sturdier and more reliable, adding a regulator to maintain a constant voltage to the battery terminals. Also, they introduced a new electronic ignition system that was called the most important ignition advancement of the decade. There were no points, no condenser, no wear points or parts that needed replacement or adjustment, and reduced emissions due to its consistent firings. All All of these improvements came standard on a V8-equipped 1972 Plymouth Duster, making it our corpse of the week.
So today we are assembling our 1970 440 6-barrel engine for the 70 Roadrunner that was brought to us a couple years ago for restoration. So while his car isn't ready to be dipped yet, it's waiting in line to be dipped, we do have his engine completely done and ready to go together. I've been told in the past that I am not the greatest teacher in the world in some situations, that I tend to be overbearing, or I make fun of people, or I try to embarrass them. I don't believe any of that for
Your training style is just different.
Well, my training style is very military. Beat them down and build them back up again. It's like steel.
And then beat them down again.
Anyway, the point being, I am not going to be in this situation. Doug, who is a phenomenal engine builder, and if you go outside and look at the 6 or 8 engines that are out there and the other ones that are over here, they're waiting for paint, and the ones behind me, he's built every one of those. We have never had a comeback from Doug's engines. Never. We never had an oil leak, a drip, a squeak, nothing. He's phenomenal. He's probably a great teacher too, so I'm going to leave him with you. I am going to step aside. Doug, I would like you to teach her, robustly teach her, how to put this together.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
No questions. First thing we're gonna do is put the fuel pump on.
Okay. How come we're gonna start with that first?
Because I want to.
Okay, that sounds good.
So what I've done here, I've got the engine rotated around to where the push rod in there that actuates the fuel pump is at its lowest point so that I can put the fuel pump on without having to fight this spring inside of this thing.
Oh, okay.
Makes it a little easier for me.
I see. Well, that's a good reason to start with the fuel pump then.
I like to do things the easy way. So you have to slide the fuel pump into here, line up the holes, make sure that the push rod is underneath the arm, and then get the bolt started in the hole. Yeah, thank you. So this one's gonna be a little tricky to do upside down.
Do you want me to hold that in place? Or do you want me to try to screw it in there?
Grab the ratchet for me. Yeah, and go ahead and run those down.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Did I run it all the way down?
Good job. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Alyssa. So Alyssa, now we've got the fuel pump bolted in place, and you can see the arm from the fuel pump, and there's a push rod in there that runs off the camshaft, which has an eccentric on it, and it pumps that arm up and down and pumps the fuel through the fuel pump up to the carburetors.
Oh, okay.
I have to rotate the engine around to get it back up on top dead center. So when I'm doing that, you can see that rod start to move. See it moving up?
Yep. So now it's all the way up. And now it's coming back down. So what would normally be doing the action of what your wrench is doing?
The
Or
engine.
not?
The engine.
Okay.
The crankshaft is run from the pistons, which spins the crankshaft and the camshaft and moves the rod up and down really fast.
Okay.
Now I'm going to rotate the engine around to where it's on top dead center, number 1 piston, and then we can put our timing cover on.
Okay.
So we have our timing mark on the cam gear right here, and I'm going to bring it up to 12 o'clock position, and that'll bring our number 1 piston at the top dead center.
Okay.
So watch the piston come up on your side.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that should be top.
It looks like it.
So I'll take this bolt out.
So what does this do?
What that does is when a car is running, there is oil splashing around inside the engine.
Mm-hmm.
And this helps keep the oil away from the seal in the front of the timing cover.
Okay.
When the timing cover's on, that oil slinger is right behind it, and it keeps the oil from trying to get through that seal. Okay, so I'll put some more gasket sealer on this.
The high-tech?
Uh-huh.
Back in the body shop, George and Adam finish up the last bit of metalwork on Mark's 1970 Charger RT. When this car is finished, it will be a beautiful B7 blue with a white vinyl top, white bucket seats, and an automatic 440 Magnum.
Looking good.
Looks good to me.
It's money.
It's all nice and consistent. ready to weld. This is the original taillight panel, so there's a lot of little extra holes on it, and this is the original quarter. I'm gonna have to weld it in place instead of spot weld it in place this time, which a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, that doesn't look factory, there's only so much I can do. The great thing is, I've got the original taillight panel, I've got the original left-hand quarter, so the more cautious I can be about it, more happy I'm gonna be at the end of the day knowing that it's where it should be and perfect.
Does it need to be pretty saturated all the way around? Like,
No,
don't
just-
see the blue at all? Or how much would you put on?
Just an even layer. It's just a gasket
Thin?
sealer. Yeah, thin layer.
Okay. Okay.
Very nice. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay.
And that's gonna go
So
on.
the timing cover covers the timing chain and gears. And a cool thing about this is there's dowel pins in the block on both sides that will line this timing cover up perfectly so that it's centered around the crankshaft.
Okay.
And it makes it real nice to hold this in place. Okay, so here's our screws for the timing cover. So the 4 bottom screws are bigger than the upper 4. Bring them down snug. Now we'll need a smaller socket for these upper ones. Great.
You can see it smushing down.
Squeezing all the glue out.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, did I get them all?
Yes, very
Okay.
good. Okay, so now we have our timing cover on. The next thing we can do is put our harmonic balancer on.
Sounds difficult. No?
It's easy. So you line up this groove in the harmonic balancer with the keyway in the crankshaft. So you just kind of rock this back and forth till you know it's over the keyway, and then you kind of tap it on with a rubber mallet. Great, that wasn't too bad. And our timing mark is lined up with the groove in the balancer.
Okay.
So we screw the bolt in. You can see that the balancer has a heavier side on it,
Yep.
and when it spins, it takes the harmonic vibration out of the engine so that the engine runs smoother, so that you
Okay.
don't feel so much vibration when it's running.
Oh, wow. So just this piece does all that.
Yeah. Okay, so we have our harmonic balancer in place. Now we can roll it upside down and put our oil pan on.
Okay. It's going good.
Yeah.
It's going quick.
Yeah.
Finished with the metalwork on Mark's 1970 Charger, George is enlisted by Will to help align the doors and fenders on the recently pre-painted Rally Red 1970 Cuda. In our Corpse of the Week, we learned that Chrysler upgraded the alternator in 1972 to make it sturdier and more reliable. What year did Chrysler first introduce the alternator as standard equipment on a production car? Was it 1919, 1940, 1960? Find out after the break. Okay, ghouls. What year did Chrysler first introduce the alternator? 1919 is the year that the Model T included a battery charged by a dynamo. 1940 is when the military first used modern alternators in World War II. 1960 is the year that Chrysler first introduced the alternator as standard on the Valiant, several years ahead of Ford and GM. Now you know.
So we have Sipes' 1970 Cuda. 70 Cudas are my favorite by far because they don't have the louvers in the fender. We got the doors hung. It's always a process. We've done the pre-fit before, so it goes together fairly good, but just making sure you get it exact because this is the last step before it goes to final paint. So it's also nice to have Mark come out, just do a once over to double check because once it's final painted, then it's done. So the doors went on good, fenders went on good. He bailed, so we had to stop filming for 2 days because the consistency you need in filming doesn't work when somebody takes time off that doesn't ask for it ahead of time.
Oh, that's strange. I didn't know I bailed. I mean,
Were you here Monday?
Yes
or no?
I thought I took
Were you
my
here Monday?
kid to a
Were you here
doctor's
Monday? Were you
appointment,
here
you know what I
Monday?
mean?
Were you here Monday?
I
Did
thought
you,
that you're supposed to have family.
did you schedule time
before
off?
work?
Did you say, hey, Will, I
It
need
was an
Monday off?
emergency.
Did you schedule it off? No. Were you here? No.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't schedule emergencies.
What was the emergency? Yeah, exactly. So
I'm
we're gonna try
sorry,
to get the car painted next
I don't
week,
wanna
pick
go
up
into
the slack,
detail.
and then you guys at home will see a beautiful Rally Red 1970 Cuda done and moved over to assembly for Justin.
And you know, a doctor's appointment, you know,
Did you bring a note?
scheduled
Did you bring a note?
is one thing, but
bring
when
a
it's
note?
an emergency,
Did you
it's
bring
an
a note?
emergency.
Did you bring a
And you
note?
know what?
Did you bring
I
a
shouldn't
note?
have to
Did you bring
go
a note?
into
Did you bring a
detail
note?
about
Did you
my
bring a note?
personal
Did you bring a
life,
note?
what
Did you bring
happens
a
at
note?
home.
Did you bring a note?
You know?
Did you bring a
Yeah,
note?
it's in my truck.
Okay, I'd like to see
You
that,
never
please.
asked for it.
I shouldn't have to.
Hey, at least I took the initiative to go get the note without being asked for it.
Okay, we're shooting this 2 days after the fact you took the time off.
Hey, you never asked for it.
You're the man. Oh, that's cold.
Wish I had my gloves.
This side actually fits pretty nice. You can just tell by the way it laid on. Let's get the bolts and let's get to screwing.
Yeah, see, I got a little bit too much on there. Okay, now we're gonna lay a gasket over that.
Are we done with this?
No,
Okay.
I wish.
Wishful thinking, I guess. Okay.
Okay, so there's a notch in the gasket
Okay, I see. There's two
for
little
the dip
notches.
tube
Okay.
to come through.
And that second bigger notch is for this?
Right,
to go around?
exactly.
Okay.
Yes, for the pickup tube.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so we lay
And
it
once you
right
stick
there.
this down, it's pretty stuck, huh? So you want to make sure. You want to make sure it's nice and lined up?
You can move it. Okay, so now we're gonna run another bead on this.
Same exact thing?
Yep. Think the kids would enjoy this?
Yeah.
Finger painting, right?
Anything that makes a mess.
Yeah. Okay, we want to keep all the holes lined up. Icing on a cake.
Icing on a cake.
All right.
That's a beautiful cake.
So here's our windage tray.
Okay.
Goes on
So,
just like this.
Looks like they have an extra little cutout on that side for
the
this
pickup tube
pickup tube.
for the oil sump. Lays in here like this. Line it up with the holes. And this keeps the oil in the bottom of the oil pan from getting whipped up by the crankshaft, which is spinning inside the engine. Yeah, it's gonna run out these baffles into the bottom of the pan from the oil passages in the engine, and this keeps it down in the pan for the sump to pick it up. Here we go again.
We're a good team.
See if I can do better this time. Okay, let's lay this one on there.
Same thing?
Yep,
Okay.
beautiful. Right.
Okay.
Okay, we gotta do this again, right?
Oh, again?
Yeah.
How many layers?
That's what
Holy
I'm talking
moly.
about, yeah. As soon as we get this done, we can clean our hands off with some brake cleaner and put the oil pan on.
Oh. Brake cleaner, the only thing that's gonna get this off our
Yeah,
hands.
yeah.
Stay tuned. Will and George continue the alignment on the Rally Red 1970 Cuda. But with Mark gone, can Will manage the ghouls?
We do the reveal that you're gonna wear like all green.
Sure, Will. Anything for you.
And cousin Dougie and Alyssa continue to crank out a highly detailed 446 barrel engine build, as long as nothing goes wrong.
Let's hope I don't screw it up. Let's see.
Go ahead and start screwing those in. You can just tell the fender's gonna line up into place beautiful. It's a 5-minute job, G. We should have this done 2 days ago, but you weren't here to film. And there's a lot of people at home that want to see you on TV. Because you remind the people of like a happy time in their life when like Lucky Charms came out. Yeah, you make people think of their childhood. And your little pot of gold.
No pot of gold. I do not
Those little
remember.
gold coins?
No. I
look
guess
good still?
I'm
Does that
just
look
kind of
good?
getting old.
No, you're a leprechaun. They don't age, remember? You're not getting old. You stay that age forever. Like, you'll look the same. like for my grandkids and their grandkids, they'll probably still be working here.
Well, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna get memory loss.
No, you don't age. If you watch Leprechaun, they stay the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like a vampire.
Oh.
Only red.
Well, I don't know if I can honestly complain
goodies.
about that. So me and Will just got done hanging.
Will and I. If you're gonna talk, use proper English, dude. Me and Will and I.
Haven't you already discussed that I'm a leprechaun? So the leprechaun over here cannot speak proper English. I'm sorry at home. But we just got done hanging the CUDA together back there. It was quite fun. I mean, it went together. There was some little quirks. We had to adjust some things. But I mean, I'm very happy we didn't scratch the paint. It can go over to him. He can finish up everything. And I don't see no major things holding us back.
I don't see no major things. It's weird talk.
Okay, you got enough on your side? Okay, let's put an oil pan on. So this goes right down on here like this.
Okay.
And then all the screws are over there. They look like little bumblebees, don't they? So the little yellow spot is plastic, and it helps keep the screws from rattling loose and falling out. It's injected into the bolt.
That is really cool.
Plastic lockers. I like to use the little electric wrench because it's gonna take quite a bit, and I'm gonna slowly run them down so that I don't over tighten the gasket. We'll get them snug.
My dad told me that you used to back your car up to a ditch and then burn out until your tire popped. You wouldn't. Why would you do that?
It's true.
Why? Do you just have a lot of tires? You didn't care?
I had fun.
But
Don't you watch them do that at the racetrack? When they get done, they sit there and spin their tires till they blow up.
yeah, when they're going forward.
Or power braking. I've known some people to power brake a lot.
So you had spare tires, though, obviously.
Uh-huh. Okay, I think this is tight. It's pretty significant. Okay, so we have the oil pan on, finally. That was quite a job, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was messy.
That was horrible. Okay, so now we can put our oil pump on. I'm gonna put a little bit of grease in this so that the O-ring can slide into it. I'll go ahead and take that from you.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take the little grease and run it around this seal because you don't want to ruin the seal when you push it into the block. So you start this into here until it hits the O-ring. You're gonna want to kind of twist it.
Oh,
and it'll pop right in there. Kind of final tighten them a little bit. There. All right.
Hey.
So now that the oil pump is on, we can roll this over and put the cylinder heads on.
We learned in the Corpse of the Week that Chrysler introduced the new electronic ignition system that became standard on its high-performance engines. We also learned that the new system was essential. It didn't have points, did not have a condenser, no wear points or parts that needed replacement. True or false? Chrysler was not the first to offer the electronic ignition system to market. Think you know? Find out after the break. Okay, ghouls, we've established that Chrysler introduced the new electronic ignition system in 1972 for its high-performance engines. So now we've claimed that Chrysler was not the first to offer such a system to market. Is it true? Yes. Fiat was the first to introduce the electronic ignition system to a production car in 1968. Now you know.
I didn't know if you were gonna let go of that gun today.
Let's see if we can...
I love the CUDA. It's a very different that we're doing a red car.
It's a very different.
Why you hate me?
Go ahead, I wanted to represent. I apologize.
So back to what I said, I love the CUDA. It's a different car. We're doing it red. It was a big process. and it went together really good. I mean, this was a very milestone for my career.
This was a very milestone, like a very big milestone. No, I'm just saying, dude.
Why? What?
It's a big milestone. Now you're getting all nervous. You're gonna be overthinking everything.
I'm not thinking nothing.
You're not thinking. I know you're not.
No, I'm not
I
thinking
can tell by your
nothing.
broken
There's
English.
nothing even.
Cottage Grove, hillbilly.
I don't even know where I left off. I mean, it's a major milestone, a high point in my career. We did the roof, we did almost every single part on that car. And so to be able to be at the final stages, hanging the fenders and the doors with Will before he paints it and sends it over to assembly, I absolutely love this car because of everything that I got to do on it.
See, that wasn't hard. Is it because you matched the color of the car too?
No, I didn't. No.
Just with the red. And when you get mad, you turn red. Like that leprechaun thing. We do the reveal that you're gonna wear like all green and like your little top hat.
Sure, Will. Anything for you.
I guess that's a no. Thank you. Do we know the name of that leprechaun from Lucky Charms? Anybody? Nobody? The Lucky Charms leprechaun. Did he have a name? He had one. Was it Lucky? Is it Lucky's Charms?
Okay, now is this the hardest part of the job we've done so far?
This is gonna be kind of like the home stretch, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, first thing we're gonna do is put our head gasket on. We're gonna use the locator dowels to lay the gasket down into position. Okay, so these two dowels will also locate the head right here and here to hold the head in place so that we can set the bolts in from the top so the head doesn't fall off or the gasket come out of place. Okay, so drop a long bolt in there. One down here. Yeah, I can get this one for you. Okay, now that'll stay. Okay, I guess we can turn it around, put the other side on.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have the top. Okay. Okay, so now we'll put that heat shield on there. Okay, with that, we're ready to do the torque sequence.
Okay. Looks like you got the paper right here.
Yes. So your job now is to point to the screws as I'm tightening them so that I know which one to go to. It helps speed it up for me.
Let's hope I don't screw it up. Let's see. So you gotta have some crazy stories about my dad. Like more crazy. Come on, he tells me all the good stuff about you.
Thank you.
Mannequins in your attic and
There were no mannequins.
dumpster
There were no-
diving for mannequins.
No. You want to know what your dad used to do?
Yes.
We used to race a lot when we were young. And this car never would beat my car.
He told me he had the fastest car.
Yeah, I know. He tells a lot of stories, doesn't he? Starting in the middle and working my way out to the ends. Got these two.
Looks like they're all in place.
Got them?
Yep.
Great. Everybody's in place. Okay, so we only have a few things left. Okay, so I just want a thin bead of right stuff around the water passages. Put it right on there. Okay, so now we're gonna put the intake pan on. What this does is it covers the valley where all the rockers, the lifters, and the push rods are. So this will seal up the area underneath the intake manifold. And so we're gonna have to use a lot of right stuff around the intake ports. And then we'll set the intake on top of this, almost like the procedure with the oil pan. so we have some bolts here that are gonna hold the intake pan down. And you'll notice that one of them's a little longer than the rest. We're gonna put these retainers on here, and we're gonna run the long screw here to hold this bracket, and we're gonna screw this down in place before we put the intake manifold on. So we're gonna set this right down in over our sealer, and we're gonna put these retainers in place, and we're gonna push this down and try to get those screws in those holes.
No way it was that easy. There's no way.
Okay, now you can see we've got our intake pan gasket lined up good with the ports for the intake on all sides. And we're gonna run a bead of right stuff around this and put the intake on. You can put these on backwards, so you have to know that this thing angles down where the carburetor's set. It slopes to the front of the car. So the back end is the high end. So it's gonna sit on there just like this. Yeah, this is an aluminum manifold. It wasn't as heavy as a normal manifold would be.
Oh, and that's why you're doing it by hand?
So you don't strip them out. Okay, great. So what we have to do now is take this bolt out, and we are going to put the negative battery cable and the throttle return bracket underneath that bolt. Let me have the bolt. Okay, so we're gonna put this.
I'm gonna get that to turn.
It's really difficult.
Gee.
Ready. Beautiful. So now we can put the valve covers on.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're getting there. Okay, so that is the driver's side. This is the passenger side. So we fit these over the studs on the heads, which help locate them.
It's tough to get in there.
Yes, they are. We're not going to tighten them really tight because we don't want to crush the cork gaskets. If you crush it, it's going to leak. Okay, we got our valve covers on. Now we can put our exhaust manifolds on. Okay, so we're going to use 2, 4, 5 regular nuts, and we're going to use one of these long special exhaust nuts that go down into this deep recess here. This one's going to use...
Oh, that one's a lot smaller.
So this one's going to use 2 long nuts and 4 short ones.
Okay.
We can just kind of peg this in place, and then... And this here is another wire holder, and it holds the number 8 spark plug wire.
Do you know if these are his original manifolds or if they're reproduction?
These are original manifolds.
Hey, they actually look nice.
Okay, so we want to tighten the spark plugs with the special spark plug socket, which has a rubber boot inside.
Oh, okay, that's what the difference is.
The rubber boot is to avoid breaking the porcelain on the spark plug.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so we had a lot of fun on this engine working together.
Not only was it fun, I really did learn a lot this time around, and you didn't make me feel like nervous or stupid or any of those things, so I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Alyssa. It was a pleasure working with you as well. And as you can see, there were no mannequins, right?
True, very
Thank
true.
you.
Although I do see an arm just right back there on that table, but never mind, that doesn't matter.